Welcome, everybody, to Standing Waters Podcast with New Way Restoration and Cleaning. I'm here with The Bar. The Bar, I think we lovingly named him The Bar a podcast ago. But Jim Mackenzie, Jim's got 18 years in his business in restoration. I've got a meekly 4.5 compared to Jim. But Jim and I got talking yesterday about this podcast today. We're like, what are we going to talk about?
What are we going to talk about today, Bill?
Right? We have this whole list that we've created, right? And as we're driving down the road, we add it to the text message list and go, hey, add this one too. There's a whole list of topics to talk about. But I felt like they just didn't fit yesterday. I'm like, there's a lot of serious things on that list, right? We talked about let's talk about ethical estimating.
Woo!
I bet that was going to be a burner.
That's going to be an hour-long podcast. I don't know if we have time for that one today.
It's going to be a snoozer, but it's going to be important information. But I felt like today I need something funny. Something a little bit fun in a podcast to talk about.
Bill.
Then I got talking about it, and I'm like, you know what, Jim? We got stories. Right?
We got some stories, Bill. You should tell the story about the drunk lady in the pool at the Harrington Manor on Christmas Eve.
Right. So, Carrie, you use the cuss button on us all the time because we try to perceive as we're, Don't do that. You're going to use the cuss button a bunch this time. We're going to try to delete out names and faces because it's going to be hard for us not to use names and places, but we're going to try. Jim and I are going to at least try. Right? So,
we are an emergency service company, and we get these calls, at those times, and we got to go.
The stories we're going to talk about, really, they all sum to one general category, which is nobody ever expects us to show up. Nobody expects to have their pipes bust. Nobody expects to have their house burned down. Nobody plans for that. If you plan for it, I promise you would solve these problems. We find things that we should never find.
Yeah, I mean
all the time. We have conversations with people that are under stress that tell us everything. Thanks for that info, ma'am. Right? And I think a lot of it does come back to, they don't plan on it, and number two, we're compassionate, so we're willing to have these conversations.
Sure.
They spend the 10 minutes during their moment. But anyway, so moving forward, Jim and I come up with a couple things to talk about. We can tell you story after story after story of every house we've been in, but we've narrowed down to a few that relatively entertain us. So we're getting, it's funny that we got snow falling today.
Yeah,
it's November 21st, and we got snow falling. We're getting ready for 12 inches of snow, and Jim and I know that we do a lot of business in wintertime when it's cold. Last year, on Christmas Eve, it got real cold. I was trying to think of a way in this morning what it was. I'm going to guess, and I'm going to say
that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. I'm sorry, 2 years ago. It was like 2 degrees, and then with a wind chill of like negative 20,
it was
something
nasty.
Of that. It was foul.
It was nasty.
I remember being outside with a wet jacket on, thinking, I got to go back inside and have this conversation. I can't talk on the phone. Yeah. Outside, it was bone chilling cold. Like the jacket was freezing with the wind blowing. And
Christmas Eve, I was one of the on-call guys. That was when Barry Thrift was here, and we responded to 4 losses that day. We worked 14 hours that day. We didn't get home till 1:30.
Well, that's why I ended up out, because we had that Harrington Manor call at 9 o'clock at night, and then I looked at my wife and I said, they've been out all day and they're still out. I said, I'm going to take this one. Like, go figure it out. Right? My wife got me. Anyway, so it's like 2 degrees outside. The wind is just barreling. It's wind driven. And we get a phone call for a water leak at what can be explained as a mansion.
Yeah, it was a sprinkler head.
It's a huge house, right?
Yeah.
We get there, we figure out that the fire suppression sprinkler froze and broke. If anybody's got fire suppression in their house, you got a lot of water.
Puts out a lot.
And
it
doesn't stop until you stop it. There's a valve that you can make it stop, right? But if you're in a rental home and it's not your house and you don't know how to turn it off, it is going to empty the tank.
Yeah, that's a 1 inch in diameter line that's putting over a gallon a minute out of there.
So we try to speed the story up, right? Because we spent a lot of time in the backstory. But I get there, and there's renters there. There's give or take 15, 20 people that are moving into this mansion on Christmas Eve. They're here for the holiday. They have packages. They got wrap packages. They have food. They have alcohol. They've got it all. They're here to have a great time, right? For their holiday. They have Tupperwares that they have transported their packages and their food and everything, right? I walk in the door, and it's this gorgeous foyer. You walk into it. It's all marble. You look to the upper level. It is the water is coming off the upper level like a waterfall. It is pouring into the marbled floor foyer. Like I took one step in, and it was like, whoo, it was a good one. All right, cool. I meet the renters. I start talking to them. I walk myself into the kitchen. They have all of their Tupperwares with food still in them, sitting around that is catching the water coming out of the ceiling. Jim, I'm telling you, it is raining in this house.
They're being proactive.
At one point, I needed to call the homeowner. I'm trying to talk on the phone, and I become irritated because I cannot find a dry spot to stand. Like a kadunk, it's hitting me in the top of the head. I cannot. I'm like, oh, that's what I was just saying. I went outside and realized we ain't going outside because my jacket's freezing, right? I'm walking through the house trying to figure out what the initial problem is. Maybe we can help and figure it out. Because it's just raining water. And as I'm going through the house, I'm going upstairs, walking around, I can hear somebody singing. But the house is huge, right? It's huge. Clearly, I haven't made it to the west wing, wherever this person is. So as I'm making my way through the house, I get to this back. It's a back spiral staircase that comes down into this back alcove. It's getting louder. So as I'm coming around, now mind you, there's 15 people downstairs that are pissed. That it's raining. It has ruined Christmas Eve. They're mad.
They
right?
gotta pick their stuff up.
They're pissed.
They gotta move.
And I'm the only one there that they can be mad at because there ain't nobody else showing up. Right? So they're mad at me, right? I can hear it. I'm coming down the staircase and I can hear it. It's getting louder. I'm like, Jesus, somebody's having a great time. I come down the spiral staircase, and the staircase leads me to the pool room glass door.
Yep.
I look in the pool room. It is, the walls are baby blue. It looks like a nice pool room. It looks like sunshine in the place. There's chairs around the pool. There is one lady sitting in a chair in her bathing suit next to the pool. She's got a drink in her hand, and she is singing. She's having a fabulous time. Right? You know what she's singing? Singing in the rain. Over and over and over again, right? So I walk into the pool room. I'm like, "Hi, ma'am, how are you?" She's like, "I'm having the time of my life. I'm on vacation. This is fantastic. I didn't think that it was going to rain in this house, but that's a nice touch." Meanwhile, 15 of her family members are in the kitchen, mad as hornets.
Yeah, she's living her best life.
She is hammered. It is 9 p.m. She is on vacation, and she got a drink in her, and she's rolling. She does not care that there are 1,000 gallons of water pouring through the ceiling.
I remember we called to check on Bill that day. We're out running around. I'm like, "Bill, what's going on over there?" And he commenced to telling me the story about the lady in the pool. And it really, as bad as the day had been, as busy as we were, it was just like, wow. It was like a second win.
Just giggling. That lady, she's like, "I got a bathing suit on. What do I care? It's wet. So what? Just get in the pool. It's not lightning. Just water out of the ceiling." I mean, it was pouring in this house.
Yeah.
Pouring. I guess it's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
My turn. So, I don't. It's just sort of a funny story. It's more odd than anything. This was years ago for another company I used to work for. we responded to a fire damage. Real nice home, single family home. The car caught on fire in the garage and burnt up through this guy's office,
Mm-hmm.
Into the second level of the home. So I remember when we got the call, I responded with one of my colleagues. We show up at the house, and this was a hot fire. There was, he lived in a development with single family homes around him, and it was hot. It burnt the siding on the other neighbor's house all the way around him. So when we were arrived, it was strange because it was a really nice neighborhood, except for his house. The grass was 2 foot tall, and there's weeds all growed up around the porch, and it's kind of odd. And we're like, what are we getting ready to walk into?
We're getting ready to walk into somebody who's not paying attention to the HOA.
No.
I ain't paying my dues and I ain't cutting my grass.
Just like anything, we get out, we knock on the door. Right? Well, he never greeted us at the door. We just heard, come on in. Okay. So, and we went. So we walk in. The whole house was just full of smoke and soot. And when I walk through the foyer of the house, I'm kind of looking over in the dining room and the living room. He's sitting in the kitchen, at the kitchen table, and he's sitting there. There's no power in the house. There's no water. The lights are off. He's just sitting in his home.
In his burnt home.
So I'm looking around. I'm like, man, there's some really nice stuff in this house. A lot of Oriental furniture and really nice stuff in the house. It's not what I expected when I looked at the outside of the house when we pulled up. So, anyways, we walk in. He's like, come on in. And he was an older gentleman, between 60 and 70. And he's sitting there at the kitchen table, and he's got a huge glass ashtray, and it's just mounded up with cigarette butts. And he's sitting there.
Been here a while.
He's sitting there, and he's smoking butts. All right? I'm looking around this house. I'm like, what? He's smoking butts. All right? So
that's all he's got.
We walk up, and we introduce ourselves. Yeah. Hey, we're, here to assess the damage. We're, with Crossroads Property Rescue. Anyways.
You got these wide eyes.
He's like,
what's going on, man?
Yeah, just go ahead and walk around and do what you need to do. He's like, well, one of you guys mind running to the store and get me a pack of cigarettes? And I looked at my colleague, Bobby, and I was like,
your house is missing.
I'm like,
but you need a pack of cigarettes?
I was like, sure, Bobby, you want to run down and get him a pack of cigarettes? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'm going to start, doing the walkthrough. So Bobby gets him, they leave. I go upstairs, to where the source where it burned up through. Walked in this guy's office. Now, the fire company had went in and pulled the ceilings down. There's blown-in insulation laying around everywhere. And I walked in this guy's office, and the first thing I seen was he had gigantic plastic totes just sitting all over his office. So I'm like brushing the insulation off of it, and I just happened to open up one of the lids of the totes. They were full of coins.
A coin collection.
A coin collection. This is when they first started doing the state quarters.
Yeah.
He had duplicates, triplicates. I mean, he had so many coins. There were 7 totes in there full of coins, not just the state coins, but all kinds. I mean, he had a huge coin collection. So I'm like, holy moly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So instantly I start getting this stuff out of the wet. You know what I mean? Starting to recover some things, So I'm kind of crawling around a little bit, and, I'd start looking like under his desk. His desk is just in shambles. There's papers everywhere. And I start seeing cashier's checks, $20,000 uncashed, $13,000. I probably recovered a dozen of them, probably $150,000, $200,000 worth of cashier's checks.
See, people don't plan on us
I'm
showing
like,
up.
What in the world's going on? So I start pulling this stuff out. I go downstairs. I'm carrying these totes down. And by this time, Bobby and him had come back. Bobby got him a pack of cigarettes, sat down at the table, and he just started smoking his cigarettes. I come down. I'm like, sir, I got your coins here. Oh, okay. He didn't really, he showed no interest. We just recovered his coin collection. So we continue to walk through the house. Bobby joins me. We're documenting everything. We go into the basement. Open the basement door. It's a partially finished basement. We go down, we walk down the stairs. As I get halfway down the stairs, I look to my right, and my mouth about hit the floor. I about fell down the stairs. I had to hold on. This guy had, like, this table right here, he had about 11 tables sitting in his basement with baseball cards stacked.
Holy cow.
About
they could have burned up.
Listen, they weren't burnt because it was in the basement.
Yeah,
I mean, there was some odor down there, but I'm telling you, there were Babe Ruth plates and all this memorabilia and all these baseball cards. And I turn around before I even went downstairs and went back upstairs. And I'm like, sir, this is your baseball card? Yeah, it's something I used to do a long time ago. Okay. I said, well, we're going to need to get somebody in here to deal with this.
At which point, Jim's like, listen, this is above my pay grade.
He just
this dollar value is way above, and I don't want to, I want the liability of this.
He's smoking. He's like, just do what you got to do.
Whatever.
And we're like, okay. So we go back downstairs. We're walking around, taking pictures of all this stuff. I'm like, oh, my goodness, we're going to need specialty cleaners to come out here and inventory this stuff and get it out of here, you know. So in his basement, he had this little man door that went out to like a corridor, you know, the exterior of his basement. And I open up this man door, and I walk back, and my mouth hit the floor again.
What's he got there?
Here, he has Marvel comics in the boxes, stacked up along the exterior wall from floor to ceiling. I mean, he had hundreds of them.
You're going to be there for weeks, Jim. All I can hear is the documentation paperwork. Just
long story short, we get specialty cleaners in because they specialize in content recovery, packing, handling, cleaning, things like this. This is right up their alley. They sent 4 ladies down from Pittsburgh. It took them a week and a half to inventory every single card in his baseball collection, recover all of his coins, all this stuff. The only thing he was worried about was, I need a motel to go stay at. Could you recommend a good one? And we're like, well, sure, the waterfront's down. No, that's too much for me. He's like, you ever heard of the Morgantown Motel? And we're like,
is that what it is? In case anybody doesn't know, that's one of those tidbits in the back of your head. We're like, I ain't staying there, let alone driving by it.
Yeah, I mean, they're running prostitution stings out of it and stuff. And we were like, yeah, he's like, that's where I want to go. I was like, have you talked with your insurance company? Yeah, they said I could pretty much go wherever I want. Apparently, I had a Mac Daddy policy.
Yeah.
But so come to find out, we did a little research on the guy. We went back upstairs to his office because we wanted to make sure we got everything out of his office. And we started finding those camera prints from the old Polaroids with the negatives.
Yeah.
Right? So we were kind of inquisitive. We're picking them up out of there, and we're holding them up to the light. And we're like, oh, this guy was in the military.
Yeah.
Right? And he was married. He was some successful, officer in the military, high-ranking officer. And apparently, he's just at an old age, went senile, and just let everything go. I mean, anybody could have broken into his house and took all this stuff from him.
Yeah.
He'd have had no idea. Sure, come on in. You know what I mean? So that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
You and I do the same thing. When we get to fire jobs, we sit down with those customers and go, listen to me. Here's what's getting ready to happen. I need you now to go get whatever clothes you're going to need for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to go get your firearms. I'm going to need you to go get your money. And I need you to go get anything that's of sentimental value or things that you don't want people to see.
Yeah.
Go get them, box them up, and they need to go to a safe place. So it's a family member's house, something like that. I said, because I promise you, we're going to find them.
Yep.
So if you don't want us to see them, we're going to find them because it's our job to sift through the rubble and to bring your life back together, right?
Did you know 85% of financial success comes from soft skills abilities and only 15% from our technical abilities? SuperTech U was created by longtime restoration pros Eric Sprague and Larry Wilberton. Their daily 3 to 5 minute videos train your entire company on the soft skills they need to make your business thrive. Plus, your entire team earns IICRC CEC credits, all for about the cost of 1 tank of gas.
To get more information about SuperTech University and receive a special 6-lesson e-course on in-home sales, go to supertechu.com/ podcast offer. Again, get your free in-home sales training at supertechu.com/podcast offer.
I'm telling you, we find drug needles, we find bent spoons.
Yeah.
I was thinking about a story last night.
Yeah.
I remember a bent spoon and a syringe falling out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
And the homeowner going, I don't know what that is. Like, really?
So,
right? We find things all the time.
yeah,
especially
you
in
find
fire,
things
right?
you don't want to find. People's
Find 'em
personals.
all the time.
So, long story short, we know as SCS got done recovering all this stuff, they estimated his ball card collection, his Marvel comics, and his coin collection, everything combined, right around $1 million.
It's amazing
It came out to be.
what we find.
And he
it really
just
is.
could care less about any of it. I mean, let alone the furniture that was in his house, the pianos and all this Oriental furniture, and so it was pretty cool.
Make sure you work hard and be nice, and you can become his grandkid.
Become his grandkid.
Work hard and be nice, baby. You become an heir.
We don't like to pray for other people's misfortunes,
no.
but hey, it's what we do.
No. It's what we do. What else you got?
What else I got? Tell us about the cat in the house, Bill.
Oh my God, the cat.
This was another time when we were really busy.
Same time.
And
Same
we
time.
needed
2 years
Bill
ago,
to come out.
we did like 82 jobs in 3 months. I mean, we were working day and night. We were tired. You get 90% of the customers are thrilled that you're there and helping, right? And then you get those customers that are just pissed. Right? You can't do anything to make them happy. You're never going to make them happy. They're just mad at life, and it is what it is, right? So you get those, and you try to deal with them accordingly. And it'd be nice.
You do.
And they were my customers. I was dealing with them directly. They had no nice bone in their body.
Well, no,
Not
because
a
they
single
bought a
one.
piece of crap house.
Yeah, they bought a junk house.
We
It
went in
got
and
soaking
uncovered
wet.
a bunch of pre-existing damage, and they were going to be on the hook for a lot of it. And they didn't like that they were going to have to pay out of pocket.
Pissed,
they were
right?
difficult.
So mad from the beginning.
Yep.
We're in their house for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks tearing it apart. It's soaking wet. We're tearing the darn thing apart. And, in all these nasty conversations, I hung up on the guy twice. I'm like, you're not going to talk to me and your wife that way?
Yeah, he was disrespecting her.
Whatever, man.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk, right? I'll just talk to your insurance company. Just what a nasty dude. So I'm in the middle of all this, probably 2 weeks in, and you get this guy's house teared apart. I remember I was sitting at an athletic event at a high school on the northern end, and he texted me and says, there's a cat in my house. And I text him back and I go, what are you talking about? He goes, there's a cat in my house. And I go, do you own a cat?
Do you have a cat?
Is it your cat? Right? You've been a jerk the entire time. What are we doing now, right? He's like, there's a cat in my house and I don't own it. And I'm like, you're kidding. He sends me video footage of the camera that he put in the house from when we were working there. Mind you, remember, everybody's got cameras, right? He's got a camera that he set up to watch us work. At some point overnight, in the living room, you see the deck door open, swings open, and this cat walks in. He's like, you let a cat in my house. And I'm like, no, the cat let himself in the house. I mean, I'm like, come on, man. And he's like, get the cat out of my house. I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me. I leave my kid's sporting event. I drive down to his house. I walk through the house. I see nothing. I mean, I'm lifting things up, looking around. I'm like, I don't see a cat, dog. I don't tell you. He got out. I don't know. Right? I asked all the technicians. We had all those subcontractors. I'm like, anybody else see a cat? There's like 10 guys working in their house. So, I see a cat? Nope. Nope, no cat. All right, whatever, man. I call him back. I go, I don't see a cat. He's like, okay. The next morning, he texted me again. Here's the cat. He's got another picture of the cat in the living room. It's fucking killing me, man. I go get a live trap out of my garage. I buy a can of cat food. And I'll drive over there, put the trap in the center of the living room, put the can of cat food all the way in the back. You got to step on it. You'll get caught, right? I come back like 2 hours later. The food's gone. The cat ate the food out of the can. Didn't step on the trap. I'm like, well, somebody ate it. I don't know if the cat ate it. Somebody ate the cat food, right? Got the truck, put another one in, set it back, reset the truck. As I'm walking out of the house, we had mattresses that were laid up against the wall in the living room. As I'm walking out, you have that moment where you just kind of stutter step and look. I'm walking to the front door and I kind of stutter step and I look. There are two eyes looking at me in between the mattresses. There are two green iridescent eyes looking at me in the dark of these mattresses. I'm like, cool. We have a cat. All right. We got a cat, right? So I call the guy up and go, hey, I found your cat. He's like, it's not my cat. I go, well, he's in your house. It's your cat. Right? Like, I found your cat. He's in your mattresses. And he's like, well, get him out of mattresses. And I'm like, I'll see what I can do. Set another trap. I walk away. I come back about an hour later. He's in the trap. Caught the cat.
Caught the cat.
I walk the cat outside. I let him go. He takes off like a striped cat. Gone, right? I call the homeowner back. And the homeowner says to me, what kind of compensation you can give me for letting a cat in my house? I was just getting ready to say his name, too, and I'm not going to do it, right? And I said, sir, I'm getting ready to give you the compensation that I'm going to give you for having your cat in the house. I didn't let the cat in your house. The cat just showed up, but evidently it's my problem. I'm going to give you nothing. And we're leaving.
I'm giving you the compassion,
yeah,
okay, of getting the cat out of your house.
I'm
right?
sorry that you're very, very upset with me. I'm sorry you're very, very upset with your... Even his insurance adjuster hung up on you. Whatever.
Yeah, he was not a nice guy.
Like, you're killing me. There's a damn
nice
cat
guy.
in your house, and I gotta find it. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty sure his wife walked around with a black eye
all
a
the time
or two.
Poor girl.
Yeah. So, good one with the cat.
What else on the list?
We got a few here. Let's talk about the 5 foot of water we ran up on.
Oh!
In the basement.
So, people lie to us all the time.
Yep.
They lie to us all the time. They'll call you and tell I got water in my basement. My first question is always, how deep is it? Because they lie all the time.
Yeah.
You'll get there and say that my basement's flooded and there is a glass of water that got poured in the center.
Yeah, everybody's idea of 2 inches of water, when they say
Yeah.
they got 2 inches of water, it's really not that much
right?
water.
They lie to us all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Only one guy's only ever been right with it. He's like, I got 18 inches. And I'm like, well, I'm around the corner. I'll stop by. He's right. He measured. Right. This one was, we have water in the basement. We need you to suck it out. Okay. Run away. We get there. You go around the back of the house. Well, you come down the stairs.
Yeah,
Go into the house, come down the stairs, and the water's like 6 steps up. And you're like, oh, wow. Well, there's a lot of water in here. How do you get that much water in your basement? It's going to be well contained, right? Oh, my Lord. So we walk outside, walk around back to there's a glass door that you would walk down like 4 steps into the earth, down into the basement, like a well, right? Walk down into the door well, and there's a glass door. And we took a picture of one of the technicians standing there, 2 feet in the water.
The whole well is full.
Full of water.
Up to the door.
Right? There's a picture of the guy standing there with his back to the door so you can judge the height of the water that is up the glass door. How the glass door didn't break, I have no idea. When we put, the funny part is when we put when we started putting the sump pumps in and the transfer pumps to get the water out, it reminded me of a movie scene. You know, you always see those flooded houses with like Tupperware floating? Yeah. That's what it was. There were Tupperware. There's a bird cage that never took on water. It just, there's just things floating. And when we put the suction in, it caused the circular motion in the water. And it caused, current. The Tupperware, the bird cage, they were just spinning. I remember going, take a look at this. This is crazy. This is crazy.
And that caused structural damage to the block walls. We pumped it down slow. It took a day. We were into the next day because you don't want to remove that much water too fast.
I remember we had to set a generator for overnight.
Yeah.
To run the pumps
So I remember kind of getting into a little, battle with the insurance company, because once it was all pumped down, you could see where the block walls had started separating and imploding, and the insurance company, of course, whittled their way out of it. No, that's pre-existing issues.
That was 5 foot of water. That was impressive.
5 foot of water. You know what I mean? And caused that. So.
That guy didn't lie either.
No.
That's a lot of water.
Hey,
sir.
I got
You're
5 foot of water in my basement.
Yeah,
it's probably
it's like up my staircase. No, it's not. Come on, man. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Oh my goodness. What are we talking about now? How about the bloody truck?
The bloody truck.
Not really a funny story.
Yeah.
This is
no. I think it's a goodwill, a good-hearted story.
This was
and ultimately it comes down to the managers that I hire and the compassion that they have for our community is really where this comes down to. We do. We've shot podcasts already that show that we do everything.
We do.
The community and our geographical location has kind of pushed us and caused us to be one-stop shopping for a lot of disaster relief stuff. One of which is biohazard, bodily fluids, blood, trauma scene cleanup, stuff like that, right? So we're heavily trained in it to keep everybody safe and to get it cleaned and disinfected, right? So not everybody knows that. It's not like we advertise a sign out front, like, we'll clean up your bloody scene.
It's not something we really want to do, but
no.
Hey, it's needed.
Right?
It's needed from time to time.
I walk in the office in the afternoon, and our office manager says, "Hey, listen, I need you to take a look at something. There's a truck outside that I need you to look at." I'm like, all right, what's up? She said, well, this guy just kind of showed up and said, hey, can you clean my truck? I said, well, we're not into auto detailing. We got enough, we're not auto detailing. She says, yeah, but you probably want to take a look. Listen, they've already asked 3 auto detailers to clean it, and they've declined it. Just go look at it, Bill. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll walk out and look. I walk out in the parking lot, I take one look in the driver's window, and I walk back in and go, hey, Jim! Jim, come here for a second.
What's going on, Bill?
Check this out. Look at this. All right, we look in the window, and it looks like a murder scene in this Toyota Tacoma small pickup.
Sure does.
It's a single cab, and it is, there is blood everywhere. Like literally everywhere. It's in the vents. It's in the dash. It's in the ceiling. It's in the...
It puddled in his driver's seat.
It puddled in his driver's seat. Right, that triangle between your legs. It puddled. It's in the carpet. It's in the passenger seat. It's in the console. Wherever air can get is where blood was.
Yeah, at first glance you go, there's nothing we can do
here. Yeah, drive the thing over to the salvage yard and hand them the title. Yeah. Right? But like, oh my. Jim and I got to looking at it. We got to talking about it. And we got to, we give it a go. 100% we can improve it. Can I get it all out? Maybe.
Well, let's before we talk about that, let's talk about how it happened.
Let's talk about how it happened, right?
So the guy was out 70, I think about 76 years old, and he was out hunting. He was about a mile out on his property, and this was a Toyota pickup, 5-speed manual transmission. Yeah. And he had killed him a deer, and he was out there field dressing the deer. Well, when he was field dressing and gutting the deer,
and he was field dressing it like a textbook, because he was supposed to take his grandson out the next day, and he wanted to remember
he was freshening up on his skills.
The technique of field dressing, so he could teach his grandson.
Because typically he would have just put it in the back of the truck and drove it back to the house, and done it there. So he was sharpening up on his techniques. Well, anyways, he was gutting the deer and nicked his wrist and hit one of those arteries in his wrist and just started bleeding out bad. He knew when he did it.
Yeah, he says I looked down and I was like, oh, that's a lot of blood. Well, I got my hands in the deer, so there's going to be blood, right? And he's like, oh, wait a minute, that's my blood. And it dawned on him what occurred. He said he jumped in the truck. He wrapped. He had an old shirt in the truck, and he wrapped it around his wrist. Now, mind you, the important part here is that he had a stick-shift truck.
Yep, and he was on a
by himself,
gravel log road trying to get out of there. And I remember him when he came in. He talked with us that day. We were kind of trying to set the expectation on what we could do and what we couldn't do. He was like, "Look, when I got back to my house, he's like, I'm lucky to have made it back there. He said, 'cause I'm trying to shift gears and to hold the tourniquet on.' He says, when I got back to my house, he said, I just got out of the truck and laid in the yard. He's like, and I thought to myself, he said, I could feel it. I'm dying. He said, I am dying. He's like, I could see the light. He said, thank God my wife was there that day.
Yeah.
Because she, called the MTs. They were there within 15 minutes.
Even as you're telling the story now, the hair standing on the back of my neck. So this gentleman told us this story in our shop.
Yes. He
stopped by on day 2 when we started working on the truck, and we'll get to that. But, he stopped by, and we got to meet him, and he's telling us this story in the shop. And I'm telling you, you could have heard a pin drop. I mean, the hair's on my arm right now. I mean, it was then, too. You're like, wow.
Yep.
Wow. Continue. He said, he's laying in his yard.
He's like, look, please clean my truck for me. He's like, I don't want to, I don't want you to tear my truck up. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Can you do the best job that you can do? And we're like, sure, we can help you.
He said,
probably going to have to get you a new seat.
Yeah.
But we can help you. So Miss Shawn, she jumped in.
Yeah.
We got the peroxide out, and we started cleaning this guy's truck.
Started cleaning it out. Right? I remember him coming back while he was telling the story on day 2 when we were starting to make some progress. You could see that it was going to happen. That we were going to be able to clean his truck. And I remember him saying, I don't care what it costs. I'm just happy to be alive.
Yep.
I go, oh, yeah, well, we're happy you're alive, too. He says, no, I remember laying in the grass, looking at the sky, saying, Lord, if now is my time, take me. He says he could hear the sirens coming.
Yeah.
And he says, I remember, he says, I remember closing my eyes and then reopening them to the paramedics standing over him. He says he distinctly believes that he's alive for a reason. And I think that lands in the story, right? So
It does.
We cleaned his entire interior of his car. We cleaned every nook and cranny.
We got an hour and a half to get him a new seat.
We got to the front seat. Yeah, we got to his driver's seat where in that triangle, right, that's where his wrist was laying, and it soaked up heavily into the sponge of the seat. That every time we tried to clean it, it just brought more back out. So we ended up driving an hour and a half up north of Uniontown to a salvage yard up there. Who had that year and model seat.
I think they only wanted $100.
They wanted $100 for it. I handed him $100 for it. We drove it down here. We took a seat out. We put it back into it and handed him his truck back. I remember him standing there and going, I am so grateful. Nobody else would touch my truck. Right? Nobody else would touch it.
Did you know 85% of financial success comes from soft skills abilities and only 15% from our technical abilities? SuperTech U was created by longtime restoration pros Eric Sprague and Larry Wilberton. Their daily 3 to 5 minute videos train your entire company on the soft skills they need to make your business thrive. Plus, your entire team earns IICRC CEC credits, all for about the cost of 1 tank of gas.
To get more information about SuperTech University and receive a special 6-lesson e-course on in-home sales, go to supertechu.com/podcast offer. Again, get your free in-home sales training at supertechu.com/podcast offer.
No. So when we get back to the beginning of the story, right? The beginning of the story is that I have extremely compassionate managers. So they finish cleaning his truck. They're getting ready to call him and tell him to come pick it up. And I walk in from lunch, and I walk in the main office, and all my managers are standing there and they're like, hey, but we got to talk to you. I'm thinking, well, this is it. We're closing the company. They're all quitting. This is fantastic. All right, here we go. Right?
Long faces.
Yeah, you're all long faced. I'm like, oh. But we got to talk to you, right? And, our office manager's been with me for 4.5 years now, and she's seen me in these situations, these compassionate situations before. She knew what was coming. You guys should just ask her. She knew what I was going to say. Right? They come to me, the managers are long faces, sit me down, and they said, listen, we feel like we have the Lord shining upon us. We feel like we have an opportunity here that is being forced upon us. I said, all right, what do you got? Well, we wrote the estimate. We figured out that it was several $1,000s for us to clean this truck.
Yeah, I was at like $4,700
right?
bucks. Yep.
We figured it out. And I said, yeah, that's kind of what I figured, what's up? They feel like, the managers are looking at me and they're like, we feel like that's not right. Okay. Well, they're staring at me and they're like, what do you want us to do? Right? I look at Miss Shawn and I go, Miss Shawn, what do you think? What am I going to tell him? And she just raises her hand. She goes, he's going to tell you, just hand the guy the keys and say, thank you for being alive. Because sometimes there's compassion that needs to happen in our industry. Right? There's so much BS that goes on with insurance companies, so much BS that goes on with vendors and family members and insurance policies. And we see the BS every single day, every minute of the day. And when you run into this situation with this gentleman, this is about being alive. He could absolutely not be here to teach his grandson to hunt. 100%. So he's asked us to do something, right? So yeah, my managers know that keep me away from the elderly community members, because I'll give the house away. I have compassion and I feel bad, right? And I'm going to do that. I'm going to help them. So they come to me and they go, listen, we're only going to charge them the hours that we have in it. I remember it coming in to be just below $500.
Yeah, it was only like $380.
Yeah.
I mean, we charged him for the seat and the few hours that we
It is,
spent doing it, and
it is what it is.
when he came in, I remember when he came in to pay. Of course, this is going to cost me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we showed him, and he was. I mean, again, the hair stood up on his neck. And all of our hair stood up on the neck again. He was like, no. And we're like, yeah, it's the least we can do. This was stressful enough. Yeah. It's the least we can do. And again, we run into people at a tough time, at a stressful time in their life. That compassion that we bring to the table, and our willingness to, one, exceed expectations.
Yeah.
Okay, do a good job and be nice and be reasonable.
Yeah.
When they're on the hook for it. The insurance companies haggle them enough. And fight with them enough. So, we're in the industry of making money, but we're also, in the industry to make positive impacts in our community and our people. So we did with that one. That was a good one.
We love him. He's still alive. We see him.
Yep.
He praises us every time we see him. And you know what?
Yep.
We're here to do good. So there's your compassionate story, right? Back to the fun one.
It's snowing its butt off.
Yeah, it's putting it down now.
It's snowing its butt
Welcome.
off.
It's November 21st. It's putting her down, baby.
Oh.
Put her baby. Let's do this.
So, I go to people's homes, and this is a quick one. I go to people's homes, and, I always ask them, hey, do you have cats and dogs? And,
yeah, you got pets?
Things like that, because, you don't want to get attacked by a dog. And some people just, are complacent. They don't care. Just come on in. He's friendly, and then the dog chases you across the... Yeah, he's never acted like that before.
He's got you pinned behind the TV, and you're like...
I'm sorry, you must, he just must not like you. Well, I ask you first if you can put your dogs and your animals.
Yeah, this isn't the first time I've come to a customer's house, right? We've run into this before.
I get to this house, and it was water damage in the basement. And the lady, she was like, I'm embarrassed, because my basement isn't in the best shape. And I'm like, look, we're not here to judge. We're here to help, always. So I remember I walked down in the basement that day, and she had this fresh little kitten cat I mean, he was probably like 6 months old.
Yeah.
But he was still
He's
fresh.
still young.
And I remember walking down the stairs and he looked at me.
No, he's fine.
And he kind of perked up at me. You know, cats will walk sideways.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's a playful cat.
Oh, he's nice.
I'm
You
like,
said he's
cool.
nice, right?
So I commenced to doing what I got to do, and I'm walking around, and you know, I'm just kind of keeping my eye on him. And next thing I know, this dude clamps on me.
He had enough.
All of his claws and everything. He clamps on the side of my leg, and I'm like, ah! And like, you know, my first instinct was like, you're gonna get off of me.
Whack.
So I kind of like was like gently, you know, as he's tearing the fibers out of my pants, and set him down on the floor. All right. Well, what's he do? Right back on me again.
I'm not done yet. You're still in my
persistent,
basement.
Okay.
You're in my world.
I grabbed him. I took him into another room. Okay. And the door, it was a really crappy basement. The door would almost shut all the way. And I'm like, okay, he's fine over there. Let me hurry up and do what I got to do. Because I don't want to go up and be like, man, you can come down here and get your cat.
Your crazy 6 month old
She was
cat
already
is
embarrassed.
me.
I mean, her basement was hoarded. It was nasty. And so he was good. He was in there for a while, and I finished measuring things out. And I get back around to that room, and I had to go in that room to measure that room as well. Soon as I open up that door, boom, he was on me again. I'm like, all right, you know what? This is enough. This is enough. So I took him. I knitted him by the neck, just like you do a cat. I took him. I opened up the back door, and I put him outside. I said, is it okay if the cat goes? Yeah, he can go outside. It's fine. I was like, thank God. So, you know, again, as service workers, I mean, you know.
It reminds me of the time I'm sitting at the kitchen table with the lady. She had a huge Doberman. He sat in a corner the entire time that this lady and I are chatting.
Yeah.
When she went up to walk away, she left the kitchen. He literally walked over and sat here and stared at me. That's all I did. It was so uncomfortable.
Make a
She walked back in the kitchen, and I go, can you take care of this? And she's like, oh, yeah. Hey, back up. And he did. He walked back over the corner and sat back down and stared at me from the corner. I'm like, good time for this. This is going to hurt a lot.
You never know what you're going to run into.
No.
You always have to be prepared. You have to go into these jobs with an open mind, your willingness to help, and, you know, don't judge. You know what I mean? You're here to help. You're here to help.
No.
Wait, one more. Christmas Eve last year, we got called out to a sewage.
Yeah.
It was in a rental home. The renters were in. I mean, this was like a $10,000 a weekend rental. Huge house.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like 15 people in the house. And again, had all their food out. I mean, they are in there bumping. They got the music blasting. They're standing in front of the TV just dancing. I mean, they are having a great time. So the sewage backed up in the basement. The grinder pump failed or something. And kind of got the utility room and like the main game room. And they were not happy that they couldn't be in that room to play, you know, that foosball, pool tables, all that stuff. So when I arrived, I went downstairs, made my assessment, came upstairs and was talking with the family. And they're like, well, they're going to move us because we're not going to stay in here smelling this. And how long is it going to take? And, you know, you can't just go in there and start ripping things out. We got to get the approvals to do those things. So they commenced to packing their stuff up. Right, so they're packing up all their food. They had everything out. They had this huge spread. They're not happy.
And again, you're the bad guy, only because you're the only
This is similar to
non-family member standing in the house, right? It's the only reason you're the bad guy.
But just kind of like the drunk lady in the pool.
Yeah.
Okay, there was the grandma.
She
was standing in front of this 100-inch TV, as loud as it can go, and she's just dancing and doing the two-step, and they're like, Grandma, are you going to help? She's like, I ain't doing that. I'm having a good old time. And she stood there the whole time. I tried to go out and fire the pump truck up because I wanted to get some extraction done. Oh, they were complaining to me. Do you mind turning that off until we get our stuff out of here? And here Grandma is. She's in the house. Let him do his job. Let him do what he did. It's Christmas Eve. He wants to be home too. And she's just dancing and doing the two-step. And I was just like, this is what we do.
She
Man.
says I'm on vacation.
She said, don't worry about them. You just do what they need to do. And I'm like, I'm not going to add insult to injury. I'm going to go sit in the van, turn the heat on until they get their stuff out of here. I did. I sat there for like an hour and a half.
For a moment, you're like, who do I listen to? Do I listen to the matriarch of the family, or do I listen to the really mad mob? Or,
even if they had no compassion for me.
No.
Because it's Christmas Eve and it's 9 o'clock at
Again,
night.
You're the bad guy because you're the only non-family member standing there, right?
Yeah. I didn't put the poop there. I'm just here to clean it up.
I'm just here to help, man. I'm just here to help.
Yeah, lots of things we run into.
Jim, we put this list of stuff together, and some listening are going to go like, well, that wasn't that funny and it wasn't that intricate. But listen, there's probably 20 stories that we came up with that we're not able to tell.
No, there's
right?
some things we
There's
can't
stories
talk
that we're not able to tell because if somebody could figure it out. We live in a small town. We're not going to give those portions up. We're not going to tell you what we find in your house every week. We're not going to tell you what we find in your house all the time. And we're going to do our best to keep names and faces out of this.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's a laundry list of things that we could talk about.
Yeah.
That those pictures will be hidden in the software forever.
Well, yeah, and as we run into these special circumstances, we take the time to train our employees to ask pertinent questions before we arrive.
You got a new cat?
Cats, getting dogs.
Cats, dogs, guns, firearms.
Bats, flying squirrels.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what you're going to run into, So it's always about being safe and being compassionate and always making sure that you're ready to help. You don't show up with a negative mindset, even though it's Christmas and Christmas Eve. You're a professional. You're there to do a job, and you can't let that aura come out.
Matter how good of a job you do, you still run into the lady in the office who doesn't have her checkbook because you handed it to her and said, "Ma'am, I found your checkbook," and she says, "Throw it in the dumpster." Are you sure, ma'am? Yeah, throw it in the dumpster. Okay, I'll throw it in the dumpster. She shows up in the office 3 days later to pay. She's on the phone with a bank going, "Because New Way threw my checkbook away."
Jim threw my checks away. You told me to throw it away.
Whatever.
I arrived at a job the other day. A contractor. We provide a lot of dumpsters for this contractor. And of course, they send us referrals for emergency water damage. And if Jim shows up at the door,
I remember what he said.
I'm not there to sell you a swimming pool. I'm there to give you my honest, thorough assessment about what's going on. So we've done some work for this guy, and he's always busting my balls about it. So I get out to the job to assist our documenter, and I'm in the garage with my thermal camera, and I'm by myself. Right, I'm just kind of looking to see what's wet, and here come the project manager. Here he come in. He walked in with the straightest face, and he goes, "Jim, I don't like it when you're on my job site." I'm like,
I can leave.
Do you want me to leave? Well, I'm just saying, every time you come to my job site, you're always bringing bad news. And I'm like, I'm just here to help. I was like, you want to see what I'm seeing? He's like, I'd much rather see you on the golf course like I normally do. But what do you got going on, Jim? And I'm like,
it causes a tense moment for the moment.
Sometimes being the most thorough guy, you're always the bad guy.
How about we just provide the information to you? You make the decision. We'll tear it out if you want me to. If you don't want me to, we'll leave.
But at the end of the day, our willingness to exceed those expectations and give that honest, fair assessment, is what makes us the company we are. Produces our brand and our quality. When you call New Way, you're going to get it straightforward. Hey, we're going to have to bring the crane in and pull the whole roof off the house because it's got this much bat poop in it. That's a whole nother story. We'll have to do. We'll do another one of these. We'll have to talk about the bat poop house one day. So
we'll figure that out, right? We'll figure it out.
Love the industry. It's what I love about the industry the most. Every house you go to, it's a different circumstance.
Well, we tell new hires when we sit across the table from them that, listen, what we do is going to be technique after technique after technique. It's going to be the same technique every day. Yeah. But every house and situation is completely different.
Yeah, you're going to have to get creative.
Completely different. And who knows if they've got a 6-month-old cat?
Yeah. I mean, and from start to finish, when you can take this much sewage and turn that back into a nice, clean space again, that's gratifying.
I wish we all got the.
What I enjoy about.
Wish we always got the result of the truck.
Of the truck.
I wish we always got that. So, well, Jim, we're gonna call it for today, buddy.
Wrap it up.
Maybe we can clean up the other stories and tell them.
We can. We can. We'll continue to.
We'll get Carrie over there to hit the cuss button when we start.
Yeah, I mean, we went a little longer than we should have today. We still had a couple more on here, but we'll save it for another time.
We'll save it for another time. So we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us on the Standing Waters podcast for New Way Restoration and Cleaning. We got more of these scheduled. I just got phone calls the other day that some people we want to bring, they want to be guests. So
we do. I talked with Glenn Champlin, with Glenn Homes Inspections. He wants to come out and talk with us, and we got to redo the danger zone mold again. We got to. Since Jim's voice is way back here.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll redo that again. So. We talked to our accountant the other day, and he'd like to come over and say a few words on the financial responsibilities of receiving insurance payments. Stuff I didn't even think about, right? But things that you probably should. But for today, we wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. See you guys.
See you, folks.
Bye.
Thank you.